Welcome to Coast U, where we celebrate every single day the men and women who are making this place, coastal Mississippi, such a great place to live, work, and play. So, weather's kind of the story. We have have a kind of a tough front that's going to be coming through, and 100% chance of rain, some gusty winds. So stay safe. But then it's going to get cool. We're going to be in the 60s during the afternoons, and then the 40s at night. It's nice to get some cool blasts coming back, especially as we all work to get in the Christmas spirit. I wanted to take a second to express my condolences to Coach Mike Leach's family. What a tragedy this is, and the entire Mississippi State community is mourning greatly. Mike Leach was a terrific leader. And aside from just being a terrific football coach and a genius at that, he was just a good man. And there are hundreds of tributes that are out there, but one that kind of hit me, it was short and sweet. It was from Eric Hill, who's been on this show many times. Eric is actually the head of the director of the Mississippi State Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach. So we have Eric on the show many times, talking about entrepreneurship in Mississippi. But he said this: it's hard to remember a coach more authentic and who instantly became part of the family. Rest in peace, Coach. And then he has a quote from Mike Leach. You'll be seeing a lot of quotes from Mike Leach because he was an inspiring leader. But this one said this: a lot of times things just happen for a reason. We don't know why God wants it that way, but you can't make the best out of it until you get back your inner pirate. You might be the luckiest man alive and not even know it. Mike Leach. Again, you're going to be seeing a lot of tributes to Coach Leach, but what a tragedy. And I feel for, really for Mississippi. And you'll again, Mike Leach touched a lot of people across this country, and you'll see some incredible things. He already has some things being said about him, and I feel for the Mississippi State University family. That is for sure. God bless Mike Leach and his family. Hey, I have the executive director and CEO of the Mississippi Department of Transportation coming on in the next few days, and it's Brad White. And, he and we communicate from time to time over Facebook, and I've enjoyed watching Brad as a leader. And he posted this the other day from Albert Einstein that I thought it kind of fits the theme of our show. But here's what it says: stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. That's perfect. Stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. Boy, isn't that true? I have to say that oftentimes, as part of the democratic process, it can be really, really messy. You got to hear from the positive people, the negative people. You have to get it all on the table. And hopefully at the end of the day, our leaders will make the best decision. But, a lot of leaders, especially public officials, they are not able to stay away from negative people. They got to hear from them every day. And as I've discussed with Billy Hughes and with Mayor Fofo Gillage, and with Kenny Holloway in Ocean Springs, and really just about all of them, it's hard to be a public official these days in the day of Facebook, because you get to hear from people, and people are willing to say from with their pajamas on in their bedrooms on Facebook what they would not say to someone if they were having to face them face to face. And that's really kind of sad. So this whole notion of what Albert Einstein says, that negative people have a problem for every solution. Unfortunately, people in public serving in public duty don't have the ability to step away from it, but they should try, because it's not good for the soul to be around negative people. That is darn for sure. Hey, listen, I have spent a lot of shows recently talking about shopping local. And I love the quote. I've paraphrased it, but the best vote that you can make, the best vote that you can make, the best statement that you can make about the set of communities in coastal Mississippi that you want to live in is to actually spend your money locally, because it is the merchants of the cities that make up coastal Mississippi that creates the sense of place in those communities. I had the opportunity last night to drive through Ocean Springs with my family. We went over for for dinner to celebrate my wife Ann's birthday. And man, we were so blown away. First time we'd been there at night since they put the lights up. What a beautiful scene that was. Anyway, with those two sort of, this Christmas spirit and what Ocean Springs has done to step up their game, and this whole notion of shopping local and all that, I'm going to spend, I guess the rest of the Christmas season talking about it. I've invited my friend Cynthia Sutton, executive director of the Ocean Springs Chamber, back to join me just to have a conversation about what's new in her life. But how you doing, Cynthia?
Doing great. We're happy this holiday season. Like you said, downtown looks amazing. Just to be able for our city to bring some kind of cheer to the community like that is just amazing.
So here's for the Facebook and YouTube audience and SuperTalk TV audience. This is the video my daughter Tori took driving downtown Ocean Springs last night. And it's interesting as I watched the video, it doesn't really do it justice for how, I don't know, bold and overwhelming the lights are. It's just beautiful. It's like going through this light tunnel of excitement in the city. But it's made a statement, hasn't it, Cynthia?
It has, definitely. It's really cool. All of our merchants are happy, excited. It's so cool to see all the people that are local or tourists doing their own videos now each night. They're just driving in downtown to do these videos. This is a cool vision that the community has wanted to do for many years. We've just had to find the right parts and pieces, and it's been very fortunate that this administration was able to put all that together and execute it to make a beautiful downtown Main Street scene for the Christmas holidays. You can see.
So this is the partnership with the city of Ocean Springs.
Definitely, yes.
And Kenny Holloway was very supportive.
Yes, he is the one that pulled the trigger and made it happen.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my family and I, when I was younger with my parents and my sisters, and then when my immediate family, my three kids and Ann and I, we always went to Gatlinburg in the latter part of the year. And I just remember how cool it was to be there with all the Christmas lights, and it's just special. Going to Dollywood, people who have been to Dollywood and see the Christmas lights at Dollywood, it's good for the soul. That's kind of what I think about when you see the lights in Ocean Springs. And the thing that comes to mind, and we won't reflect on history because there are always a lot of reasons why things like this don't happen. But it makes me wonder, why did it take so darn long? Because it is so enchanting when you see it in action.
Right. I think, things happen at the right time for the right reasons. And this was just the right time to make it happen. It's beautiful. You'll see all the trees in downtown, Washington Avenue to Porter. You'll see some little colorful Christmas trees on Government Street at the intersection of Washington and Government. The Depot parking lot is decorated. The grounds of the Mary C is decorated. So all of downtown, the walking downtown area just kind of comes to life now this holiday season.
Yeah, it was nice. I actually I took the grandkids out for a walk as we were waiting on the check and getting ready to pay, et cetera. And we just went out and walked around, and it just felt so cool. It was just neat to be with the kids, and kids are, as you know, they're just overwhelmed by Christmas and Christmas lights, and they love it, and it makes them feel like they're at Disney World or something. And it makes families enjoy the moment. But it's at the end of the day, it's really about the Christmas spirit. And this is a really important time of the year for merchants, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is. Our business in Ocean Springs is small business, and the way those businesses sustain is through these events. Cruising, Peter Anderson Festival, Mardi Gras. That's how they are able to go on. But the December month is one of the biggest months for our merchants to actually get their inventory out to make those sales. So in Ocean Springs, with all of our shops, it's a huge time of year for them. It's very, very important for people to come to Ocean Springs and shop with their local businesses. And I think something like those lights at night help. And we've actually seen just recently, we've had a motor coach come in from Gulf Shores to do their shopping. We've had a motor coach in just this week from South Carolina of folks to come check out our town and do some shopping for the holidays in our downtown. And we actually think that it probably has a little bit to do with people just knowing how unique Ocean Springs is, the one-of-a-kind shops, and how downtown is situated, the walkability.
Hey, you know what I predict after seeing it, because it's unique. It's a very unique downtown area with all those live oaks and the way that the buildings are sort of intertwined with the live oaks. It's a very special thing. I got a prediction for you. We'll do that on the other side. But this is Cynthia Sutton from the Ocean Springs Chamber. We'll continue on the other side. See you after this. Welcome back to Coast View. I have Cynthia Sutton with the Ocean Springs Chamber with us. And Cynthia, I remember when I was a publisher of newspapers for last 16 years of my career, and worked in the media business for a lot of years. I remember so well, our business was based on advertising, whether it be newspaper advertising or special publications advertising or digital advertising. I remember well that the majority of the advertising came in the latter part of the year. I mean, that's just the reality. It came around the holiday season. And this is when retailers, for the most part, kind of make it or break it in the last part of the year. So anything that you can do in Ocean Springs to kind of create a little bit of a vibe around this time of the year is going to be incredibly beneficial to the merchants. And as it relates to the lights, this is my prediction. I had a terrific conversation recently with representatives of the city of Gulfport talking about harbor lights and what it has meant to downtown Gulfport. It's unbelievable, really, if you think about the short amount of time that it's been in play and what it's become and how it's getting national attention. It's truly remarkable. And my friend Rick Carter and Terry Green from Island View have been huge benefactors of that. And they've got this multi-million-dollar display that's out there now for the world to see. And people in the droves are coming there. And one of the things they pointed out to me was that there's Jace Payne with the city of Gulfport. One of the things he pointed out to me is that the amount of organic social media engagement that has taken place. Now, they've bought ads on social media, have done some of that, but the amount I'm talking about, just like you just said, people coming and taking pictures, like my daughter did, a video of downtown Ocean Springs and posting that in itself has created a massive amount of activity for the harbor lights in Gulfport. I bet the same thing happens in Ocean Springs, that there's something unique about, again, the way the buildings sort of intermingle with the trees. The trees are these 100-plus-year-old oak trees. They're beautiful. They've weathered the storm so incredibly well. To have them wrapped the way that you do and create sort of this tunnel effect, I think what will happen over the years is just going to grow. You're going to see more merchants that are embracing it. So many cool things are going to happen. I had a great conversation too with Nikki Moon about what's happening in downtown Bay St. Louis and the work that they're doing. And it's cool to see this happening, but it's going to be a thing. Ocean Springs will be a thing. It will be one of those destinations during the Christmas holidays that people have to go see. Do you predict that as well?
Oh, definitely. It's really neat to see, December is a holiday month. Again, the focus of the month is to get folks into our shops so they can make that money, those restaurants, so they can make the rest of that money that they need to sustain them till the next big event. And, so this just adds to it. The beginning of the month, we do 4 events, 4 different days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to bring people in town, from the tree lighting to the Christmas parade. And then it's just shopping time. So the lights are something that's kind of nostalgic that will make people just come downtown and they want to come, they want to shop, they want to be at our restaurants in downtown. So I definitely agree with everything that you said. I think it's just, just another cool thing that makes Ocean Springs unique. And we're happy to be a part of it, and happy that, coastal Mississippi, its whole brand across the coast, really just invites people to come to our town And, we're a coastal town, so you don't really necessarily always think of coming to the coast in the wintertime. So hopefully these little things make them entice people to come.
I wonder. I have to get an update from Mayor Holloway here soon. We haven't visited in a while, but he being from Ocean Springs, like so many other mayors, he didn't really have to be the mayor. He had a successful business, but he wanted to give back to this community he was raised in, and he's been super focused on kind of doing anything he could do to make this sense of place be stronger, better, to help the economic viability of the city. I wonder when he drives down at night through that tunnel of lights, what he's thinking. I bet he's thinking, wow, I am proud of this.
Definitely.
For sure. Hey, okay, so let's shift gears. What's going on at the chamber these days? You also have the visitor center there, so you have a sense of the visitors that are popping their heads in the door that come from what I call the giant sucking sound coming off I-10 into downtown Ocean Springs. What's your read on things these days?
Well, like I mentioned, the 2 motor coaches that we just had recently, motor coaches haven't really come back a lot since Hurricane Katrina or since the oil spill, COVID. All these things have just really kept a lot of those trips away. We work really closely with the state welcome centers, and they, they'll see, don't quote me on this, 1 or 2 a month, whereas used to there was a dozen of them and things like that. So it's really neat to see in the Ocean Springs Visitor Center how our numbers are going up, how we're starting to work more with the tour companies, the motor coach companies again. This last month, we had about 400 plus, not during the Peter Anderson time, the month of October. We had about 400 visitors that came through our visitor center from all over the U.S. We actually haven't seen those steady numbers since before COVID. So it's really neat to see that's picking up. And a lot of people kind of think sometimes that December is a slower month, but not for us in Ocean Springs. So I can't wait to see our numbers coming through the visitor center for the month of December. And it's also kind of fun to see where everybody comes from. We're still running on demographics from 42 to 45 states a year and 12 to 15 different countries, with Canada and, of course, the UK as the #1 countries that actually come to visit Little Ocean Springs. And we think a lot of it has to do with the sense of place, with our vacation rentals that we have, with all the walkability that we have to come to Ocean Springs. So our visitor center has been very, very busy. We produce a town tour guide for everybody. We partner with South Mississippi Living to make that piece happen. And we actually had to reprint this year because we handed out all of our 40,000 guides to folks this year. So the visitor center is definitely picking up at Ocean Springs, and we're excited.
Hey, by the way, when I got at Highway 90, and I looked up at the red lights, I was reminded when I saw the number with a shrimp that there's been some confusion on social media about what that is. Have you seen that confusion too?
Yes, and we get that because people will come in and ask about it, but we have those maps that we still hand out. So hopefully it turns out cool in the end. But I think that's a neat piece to have in our coastal community to draw people along the coast. And I think a lot of people use that. So that's a really good thing that coastal Mississippi has captured.
No, I think it's cool, and if it creates a little confusion about what is that number without understanding what it is,
right?
That's a good thing because they're going to ask about it. But exactly. It corresponds with a stop along the way that is something that people could enjoy if they're visiting here or they live here, right? Essentially.
Exactly. And we pass those out every day, every week. So it's really neat to see how people take cool things like that. We're in this day of age of everything is social media, everything's online, everything's in front of you. But we have to remember here in coastal Mississippi, we still have a big demographic that is hands-on. They want to see those tangible maps. They want to drive down the street and see that fun little shrimp that's totally different from a different town. So it's really neat to see how that still continues this day. And, for us at Ocean Springs, we think it adds to our little art flair.
What you just said is really important. There is a of course, I came from digital media, so I kind of know these numbers really well. But there is a because everyone, if you're on social media, you just assume because of the amount of engagement and the number of friends you have and all that, you just assume that everybody's on social media, but that's actually not the case. Not everybody is on social media. What I find is, like this show, for example, is available on so many different platforms. You know, you can watch it on SuperTalk TV or listen to it on the radio or your favorite podcast or YouTube or Facebook. And when someone is active on social media and they post a show, like one of my guests posts a show that they were on, then there's a tremendous amount of engagement. We don't boost it and buy, time for the shows to reach to more people. We just let it happen organically on social media because obviously our push is on radio. But but I'm surprised actually when I start delving into this with some of my guests, how many of my guests are not actually on social media. So It's easy to assume that everyone is there, but not everyone is there. So a lot of the traditional approaches to communication are still extraordinarily important, aren't they?
Exactly. Like the motor coach that we just had in, it was, a big one, a 50 passenger bus, and the ones from South Carolina. And a couple of them, we did our step on guide that we do. And then they asked a couple questions, and a couple of them was like, I want that guide. I want that guide. I just told them everything they can see and do. Did the usual, follow us on social media, check us out as you're walking down the street, but then they all asked for that tangible guide because we still have that demographic. And a lot of times we tell businesses, it's hard to know what shops they have until they get to this town. So those tangible items still help them.
Well, listen, we're out of time today, but look, Cynthia, it's been great to catch up with you. Congratulations on working with the city to create this wonderful light display. Everybody should go take a look at it. And a good luck for a very productive and economically successful Christmas season for Ocean Springs. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Have a great day, and we'll see you right after this break.